Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. How to deal with dreams. Need support. I discovered the cheating in late 2018. We broke up very soon after. We had been together for 5 years at that point. She was my first and still only girlfriend. I'm willing to talk about the details more in the comments if someone wants to know more, but I'd prefer to do so only if necessary to point me in the right direction for recovery. In the days, months, really, following the breakup, I was visited by nightmares often. I won't go into details of these either, but basically they never really stopped, even now, even after almost 3 years. They always somehow revolve around her and or her cheating. Whether I outright witness it in the dream or she does something else to betray me in the dream. I can have a day where I barely think of her. I always think of her at least at some point during the day, and then, for reasons I don't understand at all, I'll have a horrible nightmare about her later that night. When I wake up I feel really bad. Like, really bad. I am seeing a therapist and going through CBT and have brought this up. I just started seeing him, so we have to discuss it more. I really feel like these dreams are hurting me a lot. I feel pain in my chest and head and even in my back lately because I think I'm not sleeping well. Is this something that can never go away? How do I even work on this? Any insight or just any words of support would be really appreciated, honestly. Thank you. Do you want some positive news? Had one of those dreams about 4 months ago. Woke straight up, felt like someone kicked in my chest. It's been 22 years since my divorce. Oh yeah, the good news is now it's only a couple times a year. This is what I've experienced too. It's been 12 years since my divorce from my cheating spouse of 24 years. It went from once a week for the first 5 years to once a month from years 5 to 10. Last 2 years have been a few times both years. I learned that interactions with her would be a trigger. I'd have a bad dream usually a week or so after having to talk to her about an issue regarding our children. I also would have a nightmare about her after consuming hard liquor. Beer and wine doesn't seem to affect me dream-wise. So I really avoid cocktails these days. Therapy helped in the early days and now a very understanding spouse helps me through any rough spots. I'm so glad to see that I'm not the only one that experiences these dream/nightmare issues. It's like PTSD. I remember having these dreams of an ex who cheated on me. I would wake up thinking we are back together. Then to realize we weren't. I would feel anxious again. This lasted for 2 years. Even when in other relationships. Luckily I didn't have issues finding another relationship. As I went out the night of the breakup and was hit on. But inside I was broken. But outside I appeared over it. These damn dreams haunted me though. Was just about to post something like this. It's actually why I'm up right now. I haven't slept since yesterday. I woke up yesterday morning after having such a vivid ducking dream about her. I went from not being able to remember her face for some reason, to having a dream where her laugh, the way she smiled, and her face felt so real, and the second I woke up, I stood up and just went on a walk. I'm so sorry I don't have any wise words or advice, but you're not alone. We're gonna be just fine, I promise. I'd trade no sleep for nightmares at this point. I lay down and all I can think about is the two of them living in their fantasy land. I wish I could tell you something helpful, but all I can think of is Xanax. The few times I took some, I didn't have any dreams. Ask your therapist for something to help. This is what I experienced too. I have trouble sleeping, thinking about them and creating their relationship in my head. I imagine they are doing all the things we had planned, and that he's applying the good parts of our relationship to theirs, learning from his mistakes in ours. It's unlikely this is the case, but the brain does mental gymnastics when it's traumatized. I've been awake for more than 2 hours now, and this is exactly why I'm on Reddit. It's only been 33 days since I found out and I haven't had one good night's sleep. The pain is too much. I have no advice. I'm just scared that just like you years from now I will still have sleep/nightmare issues. Cheaters are the scum of the earth. I'm sorry. My ex cheated on me in 2018, I unfortunately had a dream about it just last night. You would be a good candidate for EMDR. It's a more intense form of therapy to help handle the negative mental images you are having. I suggest looking into it. Maybe try burning any of her shit you might still have. Honestly, no clue if it will do you any good, but why not try? I agree, so much so that I actually already did this in 2019. Hasn't seemed to help, unfortunately. Don't sleep long enough to dream. It's a crappy, exhausting solution. I don't recommend it. EMDR might help. If you can find something else that can replace these memories that are deep in your subconscious mind, a passion maybe, that is positive, you can follow. It seems right now the memories of the cheater have affected you deeply and are hence manifesting in your subconscious through dreams, so maybe if you find something else that is positive and building you up, not breaking you down, it might help. Honestly, 5 years is long for someone who has only been with one girl. You need to play the field when young as a man. You need an abundance mindset and hook up with women, don't see them as everything nice and sugar and spice. Step your game up as a man, and improve your dyke game. She's thriving and it hurts. Need support. I made the big, huge, very dumb and serious mistake of looking at her social media on Saturday. I don't remember if anything specific triggered it. I literally just remember listening to music and suddenly wanting to look at it and just doing that. We've been in North Carolina for almost a year. We still are, though I know some consider looking at social media to be a form of breaking North Carolina, and it does feel like that. She is still with the person with whom she cheated on me in 2018. They bought a house together. She had an abortion in the past year, I'm not certain when exactly. I stopped scrolling around June because I couldn't. I got to a post of her saying she's asexual, but then going into an explicit and detailed, rant, I don't even know what to call it, about the kinds of sex she's having with her and the things she admits she likes. I'm not going to be specific here. She was very explicit and detailed. But she's asexual, OFC. Funny, that's what she told me her now so was when I found out she first started hanging out with him. That word apparently just doesn't mean anything. I know I don't understand her, but I understand myself even less, I feel, by virtue of still being in love with her. Or whatever it is I'm feeling, codependency, obsession, jealousy, I don't know. It feels like I'm just never getting over her. It feels like, from the perspective of finding a relationship with someone different, my life is over in that regard. I don't think that if she got punished or whatever that would make me happy or anything. I mean, I know that'll never happen. Cockroaches like her always find ways to come out on top. But saying that about her, knowing what my feelings for her are, make me just someone who can't even get over a cockroach. She publicly announces her abortion and graphic details of her sex life on social media. That's gross. You dodged a bullet there. She's disgusting. She's being punished just by being her gross self. She's being overt and vocal on social media. She's not an extrovert, she's screaming for attention and trying to show how cool she is. Remember, social media is always a projection, a facade. That she's broadcasting this is not her being satisfied, it's her seeking internet high fives and validation. If my wife did that, I'd be incredibly uncomfortable. And wondering if she was advertising to others what she's up for. That she is all over the shop on her sexuality is another red flag. They may have bought a house. That could just be doubling down and momentum. Sounds like she's likely to go off the rails again and then he has to deal with it. A friend of mine was in a struggling relationship. And they got married to fix it. It lasted 14 months before he ended up fucking their lodger. And then monkey barred to her. And even then he wasn't really happy. Note, he isn't a friend anymore. People making big life choices isn't always a sign of thriving. That random post about how modern she is, boasting of them and their bedroom antics is crass. TMI. And most likely is an attempt to reach you and hurt you even if she won't admit it. Like I said, she measures herself via validation and her impact on others. I'd take a guess that she's probably angry that you are North Carolina. Also with the house, did she buy it with him? Or did he buy and move in? You don't know. She sounds like someone who wants to be needed, desired. And this dude will not be able to fulfill that given time. She's flailing for attention or an impact. Try to look at it another way. How would you feel if she'd done that sort of post while you were with her? Probably pretty weirded out. You are in a better place. And it's absolutely fine to still grieve the person you thought she was. The relationship with her was, you thought, real. And it's something to hope for, someone who will live up to that expectation and love. That is, in a way, beautiful. Hold on to the hope. Mourn the past but look at it with clear eyes. She is clearly broken in some way and is not who you need. Mourn but also pity her. I imagine a lot of people saw that post and winced. Good luck. Well said. Thank you. I hope Op reads this and moves on. She sounds like a disaster. This Op looks like she's desperately trying to show how his life is perfect now, like she needs to show this facade where everything is great. Please Op go full North Carolina, no more snooping in her social media, focus on improving every single aspect of yourself, eat healthy, go to gym, spend time with your family and friends, learn new things, find new hobbies, etc. Leave her in the past in order to have a great future. Move on, man, it's not worth it. Go find some hobbies, friends, travel, do well with your work, take care of yourself. She'll regret it someday. If she don't, you'll still be happy. Did she actually announce an abortion on social media, or did you hear that through the grapevine? Like someone else on this forum has mentioned, most posts on social media are projections, a facade of the person they want the world to see. I'm wondering, have you gotten any IC for yourself for what may be your codependency issues? I don't think you are in love with her, but the idea of her or the person that you once knew, or thought you did. You must learn to mourn the relationship and move on. Have you dated at all since the split? Your goal should be complete indifference and your own healing. I hope you have learned from this minor slip up. Block her on all social media. Ultimately, it shouldn't matter to you if she lives happily ever after or crashes and burns. Good luck. It's not that you're in love with her, it's that you haven't rediscovered your identity. When you were with her, as happens with all couples, your identity and who you are is defined around your relationship. When it ends, if you don't make moves to accept that it's over and rebuild your identity around having an awesome life outside of the confines of the relationship, then you end up being in purgatory where you can't stop thinking about the past, and it prevents you from moving on. I totally understand what you're going through. That feeling that they get away with is crushing me. Shortly after D-Day, she revived her Facebook and started posting more on her Instagram, just as an escapist way to believe her lie and fantasy. Self-justification is so toxic. Over time, I challenged myself to change the way I was looking at things, and namely that social media are just a tool to boost your ego, to make you feel good about yourself. She somehow must have felt a sense of shame for being discovered, so with the ease and comfort that social media provides, why not posting more? Why not find emotional refuge in these fantasy worlds? To someone as twisted as her, it all fell into place. I started to accept this as my new reality. Furthermore, being who I know she truly is punishment enough. Being forever tied to that kind of character must be exhausting, and I don't envy her. I think your reaction to her thriving finds its roots into two aspects. 1, you were genuinely in love with her. You cared for her in a way that she probably never did for you, and the fact that you're capable of expressing so much love, even during challenging times, makes you the winner here. It shows how your idea of love is much healthier than hers, but also how they probably were so different from the start. Being able to love someone as fiercely as you did is something I'd be very proud of. Not many people can love as passionately and honestly as we do. 2. Your relationship was very toxic. What you're going through is something I still struggle with every once in a while. It has subsided, yes, but every now and then crops up again. Toxic and narcissistic people plant a seed in us that over time sprouts and generates self-doubt, mental confusion, self-gaslighting, curiosity disguised as obsession, jealousy, wanting to compare yourself with the perpetrator, etc. What I'm trying to say here is that what you're experiencing is, unfortunately, a normal consequence of such an emotionally violent abuse. Yes, you're paying the price for something you never did. This is where the cheater wins. Overpowering you and creating a sea of ashes was part of their plan. To recover from this and all the ramifications that narcissistic abuse has on you takes time, regrettably. Lots of it. All I can tell you from experience is be kind to yourself, allow yourself to process grief and slowly work on radical acceptance. That you can't control certain things and that this will forever be a part of you. I think being self-aware is key during life moments like these. Hope for the best, but know that if the best doesn't happen, you'll be okay. I send you a virtual hug. Sorry for the long scroll. The moment you feel like you are happy with who you are the way you are is when you win and she loses. Material things that don't mean jack shit. And what makes you think the other dude is happy? For all we know, she could have forced him to buy a house with his savings or inheritance. Just because she's thriving doesn't mean she's happy. This almost made me cry, my guy. You stay strong. She sounds insane if she's going to announce her abortion and sex life online like that. Like, who does that, lol? We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.